So hey Lawn Care Nation, today I thought I would do something a little bit differently. Undoubtedly, your pickup truck or your work vehicle is the absolutely most important tool you're going to use in your lawn care business. After all, being a mobile business, you have to have a reliable way to take your equipment to the job site and from job to job. So in this video, I thought I'd give you guys a tour of my lawn care vehicle that I've been using for the past 13 years in my business. So let's go take a look at it. Okay, so this is my 2005 GMC Sierra 2500 HD model. It has the Duramax Diesel engine, 6.6 liter, with the Allison transmission. This truck has been an absolute workhorse for me. In fact, it's been probably the most reliable vehicle that I've ever owned. I've only ever had this vehicle break down on me twice in the 13 years that I've owned it. I purchased this vehicle back in 2008. So it was roughly about 3 years old when I bought it. It had 155,000 kilometers on the odometer at the time. So it was pretty, high mileage at the time for the vehicle being only 3 years old. But obviously one of the reasons I purchased it was because of the price point of it at that time. In 2005, these Duramax diesels, this particular truck was going for about $60,000 brand new. And I picked this one up for $36,000 in 2008 with that 155,000 kilometers on it. It now has 287,000 kilometers on it. So it's got still plenty of life left in the truck. But I've put 120,000 kilometers roughly in the 13 years that I've owned it. So typically I'm only driving it maybe about 9,000 kilometers a year. That's probably like 5,000 miles a year on it because of my route density is so tight. So let's take a closer look at it. You can see overall the condition's pretty good. It's just starting to show some rust coming up after 13 years. You can see a little spot there. And then underneath the rockers, some little areas there. Cab corners and everything are still pretty good. You can see just some little bits of rust. I'll have to address that this year in the summertime. I'll address that when we have more consistent, nice weather. Typically, we get a lot of rain here in the Pacific Northwest. And then on this side too, you can see not too much there on the front. And then just underneath here, just all surface rust. Nothing that's really, really bad. Like I say, it's typically just started with it in the last year or so. So we'll take a look at the inside. It's got the power extending mirrors, which were a really nice option back in the day. Inside, the biggest amount of wear that you're going to see is the driver's bottom seat cushion. You can see it's torn, pretty typical for these trucks to have that worn there. Starts here because of the height of the seat. You're typically sliding off the seat and it starts to wear on these edges. The rest of the truck is completely stock and actually in really great shape. If you look at it, the passenger seat is all original. Still looks really, really good. We'll take a look at the back. The headliner's good. It's not sagging or falling down anywhere. Inside the back, the crew cab. See again, everything looks really nice. Carpets and everything are pretty good. Some little stains here and there. Not too bad. The back seat is in excellent shape. Just overall in really decent shape for its age. So you can see here on the cap, I like using the cap because I can keep fertilizer and stuff in there and it keeps it dry here in the Pacific Northwest when it's raining, and it's easy for me to access to get in there. versus say like a tonneau cover or something that would just sort of tilt up. Unfortunately, I've got a broken window here that happened just randomly while I was driving. It's still got the screen on there, and I've been trying to resist putting a plexiglass window, but I have had no luck yet getting an original window for it because of course of the age of these trucks. The manufacturer of that cap no longer makes the glass or stocks glass for it. You can see it's still pretty good shape. Got a small dent in the bumper there. That was actually there when I purchased the vehicle. So it's still about the same. Take a look inside. It's got some wear here on the cap too. I'm gonna have to replace this weather stripping on the top there. You can see it's kind of falling down, and these struts too. But it was had the spray-in bed liner in it when I purchased it. So still pretty good. You can see some little hints of rust there starting in the bed front corner there, as well as right here on the edge of the bed. But overall, still very, very solid. Wheels and tires still in pretty good shape. Still a bunch of tread on these tires. They're not the greatest tires, but they'll do for now. On the passenger side, again, just the missing reflector came off. But again, overall, in really decent shape. See underneath there. Passenger side, again, another reflector. They seem to just come undone pretty easily. The door sills, everything's solid on it. Seats in overall good shape. Interior is still pretty good. Let's take a look under the hood. So there's a 6.6 liter Duramax turbo diesel engine. Thing's an absolute beast. Just crazy how much power this thing has, how much power it puts out. It's got a dual battery setup from the factory on these diesels. So I've been doing a bunch of work to it, just your regular sort of maintenance sort of items. Replaced the thermostats on it, did a full coolant flush, did an oil change on it. The batteries are fairly new. Got those this past season. New air filter, new fuel filter. Just getting it ready for the 2022 lawn care season. I'm still going to replace, put a new belt on it and change all the idler pulleys and the tensioner and that sort of stuff as well. Just to make sure that those are fresh and new as well. So actually, originally this year, I had been thinking about replacing this truck and getting into a brand new vehicle. Actually went as far as listing this for sale on Craigslist and going out to the dealer and test driving a brand new 2022 model Sierra. Although it was a half-ton elevation model. It was a really nice truck. But it was $64,000 brand new, and was only a 4-cylinder gas engine. So I was kind of hesitant on that, not knowing how that would stand up in a lawn care business with the constant towing that we do. The other thing that kind of started making me second guess again, of course, was this truck is paid off. It still looks fantastic. Every year when I go to customer properties at the start of every spring, I always get them asking me if I bought a new truck because it always just looks so shiny. It just presents really, really well still. And I always have to laugh and joke, say, no, you know, it's 13 years old or it's 12 years old or whatever the case may be that year. So yeah, it just still really looks good. And like I said, it's been the most reliable vehicle that I've ever owned. and it just has a ton of power. With that 6.6 liter Duramax diesel. In 2005, this was rated at 16,000 pounds of towing capacity. So more than enough than I would ever need in my lawn care business. And that's why it just is so effortless. It's so nice to drive. Pulling the trailer behind it, you don't even feel it back there. You know, it just does really, really well. One of the other reasons I've decided to keep this truck for 2022 is that I still really like this truck. I still remember back in about 2004, I was at a campground camping with my family. At the time, I had a 2000 Sierra. It was just a extended cab, two-wheel drive model. And I saw one of these roll into the campground, the HD models, 2500. And I was immediately in love with just the looks of this truck. Especially with those wheels there. I think those are probably some of the best wheels that GMC and Chevrolet have ever designed for their trucks. They just look so nice. So yeah, still, you know, after all these years, I just still really, really like the truck. Now, of course, another reason, and one of the most important reasons on why I'm keeping this truck is that being in business, you know, the whole point of it is to be profitable, and replacing a vehicle unnecessarily really kind of hampers that whole effort, especially with the prices of vehicles today. In fact, when talking with a friend of mine who kind of shed some light on the situation by you know, kind of pointing out that, you know, just the taxes that I'd be paying on that new Sierra 1500 was going to be about $9,000. And he said, you know, that's $9,000 lost right there buying that brand new vehicle. He says, imagine just taking that $9,000 that you'd be paying just in the tax on a new vehicle and putting $9,000 into this truck, and how much nicer you could make it with upgrades and that sort of stuff. And that really stuck and hit home for me, because like I said, this truck is paid off. So, you know, it's just maintenance and fuel that it costs me to run my lawn care business, and it's just been so reliable. So it's not like it's having tons of issues and it's falling apart and it's costing me a lot of money. This truck has been old faithful, as they say. Now, of course, there's times where you have to do that. You have to buy a brand new truck. You have to do it. And in those situations, it's okay. But I think my whole point here is, you know, not to worry about. It's easy to get caught up, especially with social media, on guys driving new trucks and everything looking fancy and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, it can really put you at a disadvantage if you fall into that trap and be stuck with monthly payments and all that stuff unnecessarily. So like I said, this truck is going to be with me, and sort of had a new resurgence of my love for the truck. And at this point, I'm, you know, thinking, you know, I'm probably never going to get rid of this truck. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of upgrades to the truck. Like I said, I've already started with all the sort of standard maintenance items. I'll be fixing up, you know, those little rust spots. You know, one of the things that stood out to me with that brand new truck was just sort of the technology that you get with new trucks. You know, as far as capabilities and things go, this truck has more than enough capabilities for me. I don't need something that tows 30,000 pounds or anything like that, like some of these newer, you know, 3/4 ton trucks and 1 ton trucks can do nowadays. This 16,000 pound towing capacity on this thing is more than enough for me. You know, things like Apple CarPlay, having in-dash, like a large screen navigation, all that sort of stuff that you see on the new trucks. And that's ironically, when I was test driving that new Sierra, that's what I spent the most time looking at, was the in-dash navigation with Apple CarPlay and the Google Maps and all that sort of stuff sort of built in there to the dash. Just thought that would be so cool to have when you're doing quotes and stuff for clients, especially since a lot of laws have come into place with not using your phone during driving and stuff like that. It makes it a lot more restrictive to use your phone for navigation. So having that sort of built into the dash and stuff would be really cool. So I'm going to be upgrading the factory Bose stereo there to have some sort of in-dash navigation touchscreen with Apple CarPlay. We're going to be doing some sort of wireless charging capability in the console. I'm going to be, of course, getting this seat fixed. You can get all these OEM seat covers, so I'll be doing that as well. And just a whole bunch of other different upgrades, backup camera, dash cam, just all sorts of technology in it to kind of bring it up to spec in terms of what you get with a new vehicle. So there you have it, Lawn Care Nation. That is my 2005 GMC Sierra 2500 HD with the 6.6 liter Duramax Diesel and Allison transmission combo. Like I said previously, this truck has been ultra reliable for me with just minimal regular maintenance. And has been just an absolute workhorse for me in my business, being able to tow more than anything I've ever needed to be able to tow and haul with it. So let me know in the comments below what you think of my truck, and if I made the right decision in deciding to keep it for going on to a 14th season here in my lawn care business. And let me know what truck or vehicle you're using in your lawn care business and how it's worked out for you so far. So that's it for this one, guys. Here's to wishing you guys all overwhelming success and freedom in your lawn care business. Bye for now.